Good. Okay, so hall directors, our last point here, and we did factor Eastlake out of this just to make it a little bit cleaner, is do you know who your community mentor is? So this was open-ended. They were able to pick who their CM was if they knew. We found this was interesting, especially as we've kind of redefined this position, just in terms of furthering that conversation we had a couple weeks ago as far as what is their role in the hall. Do people actually know? So they were asked if they knew who that person was and then could actually pick from the list if they did. One of the things that I think this that I want to mention here as well is the number of no is actually a little bit higher. In the comments as you're reading through them, for the people who said yes, there are a couple people in the open-ended comments about their CM were like, wait, just kidding, I don't actually know who this person is, I didn't mean to check this box, and I can't go back and uncheck it, which was slightly amusing. So, but about 2 out of 3 students could not specifically name their CM. Again, that's going to look a little bit different building by building, and this doesn't include Eastlake that didn't have CMs living in. Now, some Eastlake students had exposure to CMs, but we figured given looking at the presence in their specific areas was more appropriate. And so just thinking about how we're establishing CMs in the community as staff members and not just engaged residents, or how we're differentiating them from people like hall counselor, people that may look like them in terms of role, I think is something interesting. So this was the last point from this morning.
So question though, what is our percentage of students that are actually involved in a RL, residential learning?
Only 100 students.
And this wasn't about
100, you said?
This wasn't the one for the class specifically.
I know, but I'm wondering, would that equate to 33%? That would not. So more people know them than just the people in the class.
Correct.
So that's good.
Yeah.
Because then otherwise, okay, that's good. So they're more known than beyond their class.
Correct.
In theory
Yeah.
is what that says, which is the hope, but.
Yeah.
Okay.
But definitely work to be done in this area.
I'd also encourage you to rerun the numbers without Kirkland because they didn't have a class at all. So it kind of skews your numbers to.
You have community mentors.
And one, and while I tried, she was out there and she did her lobby
Hers,
hours.
she had really high numbers.
Did
Yeah,
she
she
really?
had
Yeah.
the 3rd highest response.
Oh, well,
Which
never
is-
mind then.
Yeah.
She made it look good.
Good.
Yeah, because this is just, do they know who their CM is in terms of the programming, the in-hall content? It has nothing to do with the class piece. I think your point is well taken there in terms of, yes, it's more than just the class piece.
Right, but
Residents
so
do
for
know
sure,
that.
those people should know who it is, but it's.
Yeah, and
good
so
to
then
see
it,
more percentage so that they're more broader than just that. but-
yeah, and I can pull what that number is that should have known from the class, so to speak, if that's 9 or 13% or whatever that is, so we can kind of look there. But I think that's something for us to take in mind to spring and into next year is how can we more establish this person, the residents may not know every single person on staff by name, but for the most part, they tend to know the RAs and like, okay, we need to be quiet, it's rounds time, or I recognize them. The RAs have that pretty consistent presence for the most part, and so making sure that CMs start to have that in the same way.
Well, even
or
looking at the
similar.
question too, like who your community mentor is. Like I have 2 for the whole building. How are they defined? Who's your community member?
Well, and
Community mentor. Like how do they? If they're not in the class aside from the class participants,
mhm.
What would be? So would it be Katina or would it be Christian? How is it defined? Who's who?
Mhm. Anything else on this one?